Welcome to A Word of Hope for Friday of the 19th week in Ordinary Time. I'm Father Don Gergen. Our gospel text from Matthew is somewhat complicated. So before I come to that, I just want to ask a question. How committed are you to following Christ? How committed? To what extent? It raises the question of the cost of discipleship, the challenge that comes to a way of life that's not pain-free. So that although this is a word of hope, hope sometimes comes in various ways. And today it comes to us as a challenge. Are we up to the challenge? The gospel text basically is the story of the question being asked whether it's lawful to divorce for a man to divorce his wife. It looks at it from that point of view because at that time, women were not allowed to divorce their husbands. That's part of the complexity that we could go into but don't have time. But Jesus is rather insistent and strong that divorce is really not permitted. It was not intended that way from the beginning, and that we were not made, marriage was not made for that, although there can be an exception. But then it goes on, because the disciples say, well, if it's that difficult, maybe it'd be better not to get married at all. And that's where Jesus brings in the other comment that some people are made eunuchs. That is celibate, we might say, for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. So being celibate for the sake of the kingdom, being faithful in marriage and realizing that it is a lasting commitment, these are challenges for us that we can't unpack except to be aware that in fact what Jesus expects of us is something quite clear. And that's why I just come back to the question, apart from the ones that were raised in the gospel text, how committed am I to actually following Jesus? Am I committed to going with him the long journey? Am I willing to accept the challenge he presents? That's our question for today.